WrestleMania 40, the biggest show of the year, the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. It is finally over. So much has happened. Before we get into picking out, analyzing night one and night two in totality, we have to start with obviously the biggest headline. Roman Reigns is over. 1,300-day reign is over. Cody Rhodes finished the story. The Cody crybabies are all satisfied, as the final boss Rock would put it. And I believe that match, that spectacle the both guys produced was something that people are going to be remembering for a long time. But before I get your analysis, I just want to run through something real quick and stay with me here. I'm simply looking at the most recent memory, the last 13 years, the conclusion of WrestleMania. Starting with 2010, WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels, Taker wins, continues the streak, boom, 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 classic moment, of course, straightforward ending. 2011, The Miz beat John Cena by disqualification. Obviously, Rock bottomed John Cena. Probably, arguably, the worst ending from this list that I'm going to pull from. I think WrestleMania should never, ever, like Chris Jericho would say, ever end in a DQ.
Yeah, that was shitty. Yeah.
2012, Rock beats Cena clean in Miami. Epic. They made history with the buy rates. 2013, John Cena beats The Rock. 2014, the show ends with Daniel Bryan beating Randy and Batista. 2015, Seth shocks the world with arguably the greatest cash-in ever, steals it from Roman and Brock. 2016, Roman beats Triple H in a fairly lukewarm match because Roman was still finding himself. 2017, Roman beats The Undertaker, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Had a floppy moments. He dropped The Undertaker. He was still finding himself. 2018, Brock beats Roman. 2019, Becky Lynch beats Ronda Rousey and Charlotte. 2020, this was the crowdless WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre beats Brock Lesnar night two. Night one was the Boneyard cinematic match. 2021, Bianca Belair beats Sasha Banks night one. Night two, Roman beats Daniel Bryan and Edge. 2022, Stone Cold Steve Austin beats KO night one in that epic brawl. Night two, Roman beats Brock. That match was a little lukewarm. 2023, last year, night one, KO and Sammy beat the Usos. Night two, Roman beats Cody in the big upset that took us to this year. Cody finally finished its story. I say that to say this. I am honestly, and this isn't about being a fan of Cody. This isn't about being a fan of Roman Reigns. Looking at the last 13 years and how WrestleMania concluded, this is undoubtedly the most satisfying, rewarding ending that included the drama, the action, the suspense, the surprise. It had all those elements, and it ultimately left the live audience buzzing and happy. I think this was the best conclusion to WrestleMania in the last 13 years, because they're honestly the only thing that I think would compete with it is the Stone Cold KO because of the shock factor. But honestly, I gotta commend them. I'm here to celebrate Cody, but I'm here to celebrate Roman Reigns too, man. None of that's possible without his growth, without him being the great all-time villain he's became.
Yeah,
man, they tore the house down, man. They tore the house down, and before we even get into the elements of the match with the interference, I just think the work they both put in, that's a main event. And I do think the ending alone, I thought we'll get into the rest of the card, of course, but I thought that ending is that's exactly what you want in a main event, and that's exactly how you want your top two guys to show up. They didn't cheat the audience at all, and man, I'm really happy for Cody, man. This is how you earn it. This is the old school way. A guy started off in the mid card, dabbled in the tag division, came back, had to earn his stripes, had to go through Brock Lesnar, had to lose to Roman, had to go start from scratch a whole year in the making, and did it, man. I think the narrative that they told was great. And what do you think about just strictly the conclusion in this match, this main event?
So I'm actually glad you went through the list, because now looking back on it, you don't think he has some tough competitors that he has to rub elbows with out of that 13 years? Because I think if we go back to the 2015 where Seth ran down and cashed in, and both parties were down, and then he stole the title away. I think off of shock value, I don't think anybody tops him. Just getting that shock excitement, of seeing something that you never ever thought you would see. Do you think he can compete?
There's some moments in here. I don't want to act like there's nothing in here.
Yeah, I'm glad you went through the list.
That moment, I just look at majority of them don't compare. They were just straight clean one.
Yeah, I agree.
But the Seth thing was one of the most all-time great endings in its own right.
The shock value. Yeah.
I just think for the shock value, without question, because the way he did that, I believe that to be the best cash in ever. I really do. But I think the match that was happening before it was not nearly as good as the match that Roman and Cody was having. I also think all the star power and the elements that I knew there was going to be a lot of shenanigans. I just think they had the right amount of shenanigans to add to those two, to add to the work those guys were doing. The first 25, 30 minutes, they were just going back and forth, counter to counter, killing it. They didn't even need that in those shenanigans. But the fact that they had that combined with what was at stake, I can't give it a Seth, only because what was at stake. There was so much on the line here. And it legitimately was a 50-50. Roman could have easily won that, and it would have been believable. And Cody, we all know that's believable too. But Seth certainly competes with that, just how it was executed.
Right. And that's what I was thinking, because when you said like just the ending, right? I wasn't gonna grade the whole entire match that was going on, because Cody and Roman, they might have topped themselves from the year before.
So, without question, Sammy.
They might have.
Without question.
They might have topped themselves from the night before. So I wasn't going to grade the whole match, but just what Seth was able to pull off, right? Because nobody else ever pulled it off, and nobody's seen it coming. I did not. Looking back at that time, I don't remember one spoiler, one report, one podcast predicting that Seth was going to go out there and cash it in. That moment right there was literally that's like the personification of out of nowhere. So if there's any of those moments that can rub elbows with Cody, I would pick that one. I would pick that one
over KO Steve Austin. I would pick KO Steve Austin.
Yeah, because we got to keep it real with KO Steve Austin. We knew what was going to happen the whole entire way. We knew Steve wasn't going to take no L to
what
KO.
I opened with was satisfying conclusion. Like, you actually gave a almost universally satisfied, send the 70,000, 80,000 plus satisfied, and like, okay, whether you're a fan of either of them or not, everybody in that building's like, all right, that was satisfied. That was a finale.
That's true. No, that's true.
That's shock, but I don't know if it was like, okay, this is universally, this was a grand finale. But he definitely, I would give him the edge over Austin if it comes down to it. But I thought Austin and KO was pretty big.
Here's my defense for Seth over him, right? He definitely didn't send the fans home happy at that time, but he did it in the opposite way. He pissed everyone off. You see what I'm saying, Dave? Like he legit had everybody not knowing what the hell was going on, and at the same time, he made everybody literally upset because that was like a little bit before, people had that bad taste in their mouth with Roman. Like Roman was still real good at that time. Brock was the ultimate big, imposing bad guy at that time. You know what I mean? So people were actually rooting for Roman to get his just due. And then there was a portion of the people who were actually rooting for Brock. You know what I mean? They thought it was going to be a
portion of people still waiting for Roman to prove himself at that time.
No, there was, but it was split. Like the crowd was split, like because they were still a portion of people rooting for Brock because it's Brock. You know what I mean? And then there was a portion of people who were actually on Roman's side because that was the early stages. They weren't too tired of him yet. You see what I'm saying? So when Seth came, I remember at that time people thinking he's still a young buck. He's not ready. You know what I mean? He's not going to be able to just come out there while there's Brock Lesnar and then other people going on and then walk away with it. Like I remember at that time, some people saying he might, fail to cash in. You see what I'm saying? It's just that I'm going off of the timing on it. If there's anybody I would make a run for the money, I would give it to that moment. I would give it to that.
I mean, I hear you, but again, I don't want to sound like I'm taking away from it because that was a great moment. That's one of the better modern day moments. But what was on the line does not equate to what Rome, the match and Cody of Roman Part 2. What was on the line? What was on the line was there's just you just can't fully put it into words. Like it was either Cody loses and this guy passes Hulk Hogan, or Cody wins and does something that you keep talking about shock for Seth. Cody had the shock of it almost seemed like Roman Reigns was unpinnable one-on-one for 4 years.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that there's not a big shock. There's a lot of people who were shocked, a couple nights ago that he actually even did it. So combined with the fact that you had Roman winning, that should be a shock to you as an individual. So
that's a fact.
I just think Cody had the shock on top of the better match, on top of making everybody happy, on top of being that baby face that everybody loves him. He could do no wrong. This is very much like Cena's first fresh rise to the top. He could do no wrong back in 05, 06, 07. So I think there's just so many elements that Cody gave the most satisfying conclusion to WrestleMania in quite some time. And I think, I know he's no longer with the company, but Vince McMahon's traditional motto was send the fans home happy. And for whatever reason, they mostly went away from that the last decade. But if you look at most of the best WrestleManias end like this, with the hero prevailing and having the fireworks and everybody on their damn feet. And that's what wrestling's all about, man.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I like your pick. Yeah, that's what I mean. I would say, I wouldn't put the Seth over it, but if there's any one of those other ones, I'm going with that one to rub elbows at least.
I could take competing with it, but
I'm rubbing with.
I don't think it had as much elements.
No. That's why I'm only saying rubbing elbows, because I don't know neither. I don't know. I don't know if I can definitively say something like that neither, because again, like you said, Cody had the ultimate perk of somebody holding the title so long, and we haven't seen somebody hold the title that long in 35 years. You know what I mean? It adds to the ultimate perk. no matter what. Like that's the ultimate perk. You automatically have the ultimate bonus because you slayed a dragon, and that's a real dragon. You know what I mean?
We're literally about to pass Hogan.
Like we're used to people, okay, a year and some change. We're used to people, maybe 9 months, 10 months at most. So you got somebody who's been almost 4 years deep, and he had the character to back it up. So it's the ultimate perk. But I can only defend Seth definitively. I think I can only defend Seth definitively over the other WrestleManias.